Hello and good evening. If you're listening to this, that means you have the proper clearance to do so. Congratulations. This is item number SCP-3063, and I'm wondering if I have the same guard every day because they never take off their helmet and communicate solely in very aggressive hand motions and grunts. Object class: Keter. Special containment procedures. Newly discovered 3063 manifestations are to be reported immediately and destroyed as soon as possible by whatever means appropriate. All Foundation buildings and the residences of all Foundation personnel are to be equipped with the most effective insect control measures available. At no point should any personnel ever interact with or acknowledge SCP-3063 manifestations outside of immediately destroying said manifestation. Any Foundation personnel or civilian individuals known or suspected to have made an agreement with the SCP are to be immediately contained in the nearest Foundation facility, equipped with appropriate containment facilities, until the event of said individual's death. Once the affected individual has died, their remains are to be incinerated along with any organisms that might have emerged from them during containment. Individuals affected by 3063 do not require food or other external attention, and under no circumstances are they to be removed from the containment site while alive. If affected individuals are unable to be contained for any reason, every effort should be made by Foundation operatives to kill said individuals before the event of their natural death. If this is impossible, or if affected individuals are not discovered until their deaths, Mobile Task Force Beta 5 is to enact Procedure 18. Description: SCP-3063 is a telepathic Class 5 reality-bending entity. Damn. 3063 invariably manifests as a physiologically non-anomalous adult male housefly. It is currently believed that only one manifestation of the SCP exists at any given time, but this is yet to be confirmed. Manifestations are to be considered destroyed when they have sustained damage that would be sufficient to kill a non-anomalous housefly. Translation: swat that bitch. After which, SCP-3063 will manifest somewhere else on Earth. No manifestation event has been observed as of yet, and it is not currently known whether SCP-3063 manifests as an entirely new individual housefly or simply inhabits the body of an existing housefly. All SCP-3063 manifestations operate with a single goal, namely making an agreement with an individual. The terms of such agreement vary greatly, but almost always involve 3063 promising an individual any single thing they greatly desire in exchange for an unspecified price. Such offers have included large sums of money, the love of other individuals, political power, and reality-bending ability. That's arguably the coolest one. It's hypothesized that 3063 reads the thoughts of its target to tailor an offer specific to them. 3063 refuses to discuss anything other than the terms of its agreement. If an individual accepts the terms of agreement, 3063 manifestation will immediately combust and die, at which point the individual will receive what they were promised. If an individual does not accept, 3063 will continue to attempt to tempt them with larger and larger offers until either the individual accepts or the manifestation is destroyed. If the SCP manifestation is destroyed, successive manifestations will continue to contact the individual until they consent to the agreement. After a period of 2,376 days from the moment an agreement with 3063 is made, affected individuals will undergo a process as detailed below. Fertilized eggs representing virtually all known species of the order Diptera will spontaneously appear within the lungs, throat, stomach, intestines, sinuses, ear canals, rectum, urethra, and muscle tissue of affected individual. The number of such eggs typically ranges from 5,000 to 20,000. Disgusting. The eggs will hatch naturally, and the resulting maggots will begin consuming tissues of the affected individuals for between 3 and 14 days in order to escape the body. Also disgusting. When this period has elapsed, the maggots will pupate and lie dormant. Within 2 to 6 days, pupa will emerge as adult imago flies. Newly emerged flies will continue consuming their host and breeding with each other until the host has sustained sufficient damage and dies. This typically takes between 1 and 5 weeks and has been known to produce upwards of 50 million individual flies. Ugh. Just keeps getting worse. When the affected individual has died, the remaining flies will cease reproducing and enter a stage of dormancy, during which they will eventually starve and die. All that for nothing. A new manifestation of SCP-3063 will appear shortly after the death of the affected individual. Oh boy. Affected individuals will remain conscious for almost the entirety of the process, resulting in great distress. Yeah, I can imagine so. Roughly 70% of affected individuals will attempt suicide during this process. Can you really blame them? Flies generated during this process have been determined to be entirely non-anomalous. If the affected individual dies during any point of the process, or during the preceding 2,376 days, the process will stop and the flies will die. Thank God. No known method of averting this process other than the death of the individual has been discovered. To date, 6 Foundation personnel have been contacted by 3063, and attempts have been made to alter the terms of agreement to entrap 3063 into neutralizing itself, though none have met with success. Following is a partial test log of such attempts. Test 1. Tester Senior Researcher Elizabeth Go. Parameters: the death of SCP-3063. Result: SCP-3063 manifestation combusts. Eggs manifest within Dr. Go 2,376 days after testing. Interpretation: SCP apparently interprets its death as the death of a manifestation. Test 2. Tester Senior Researcher David Roberts. Parameters: the permanent containment of SCP-3063. Result: SCP manifestation ceases moving and is determined to have died. The dead instance is contained within a secure containment unit below Site-63. After 2,376 days, Diptera eggs manifest inside the senior researcher's body. 3 months after his death, another 3063 instance is confirmed. Interpretation: again, such terms of agreement seem to extend only to 3063's current manifestation. Test 3. Tester Dr. Caroline Fairweather. Parameters: a permanent cessation of all activities of SCP-3063. Results identical to those of Test 1. Interpretation: it is becoming clear that permanent, in the context of 3063, only extends for 2,376 days prior to the death of the individual. Test 4. Tester Senior Researcher William Marlowe. Parameters: knowledge of the true nature of SCP-3063. Result: 3063 combusts. A printed copy of this document without the test log appears before Senior Researcher Marlowe. Process proceeds as normal. Interpretation: assuming SCP-3063 does not cheat those it makes an agreement with, this document is to be considered accurate and true. Test 5. Dr. Patrick McGann. Parameters: clear and understandable knowledge of 3063 other than the knowledge currently possessed by the SCP Foundation. SCP-3063 combusts. Results of the test and the following test appear printed before Dr. McGann, who proceeds to kill himself by puncturing his carotid artery with a pen. Interpretation: 3063 either possesses precognizant abilities or is able to directly affect future events. Test 6. Tester Dr. Jonathan Mayberry. Parameters: is there even a choice? Result: Dr. Mayberry experiences a severe pulmonary embolism and later dies en route to the medical center. 3063 combusts. Interpretation: see Test 5. Any personnel contacted by 3063 are expected to report the event and then use the opportunity to continue neutralization efforts. SCP-3063 is believed to have been in operation for at least 4,000 years, as the earliest known records of entities and events matching 3063's description have been discovered in early Canaanite settlements. Assuming an approximately constant rate of activity, this equates to approximately 615 agreements made. It is entirely possible that 3063 has been in operation for considerably longer, and the Foundation archaeological teams are currently searching for earlier recordings of events that would indicate such. Procedure I-Slip 18. In the event of the death of uncontained individuals due to 3063's effect, Mobile Task Force Beta 5 is to mobilize and administer said individual with 90 grams of cypermethrin. Additional cypermethrin is to be sprayed within a 10-meter radius of the affected individual. After the individual and any generated flies have died, remains are to be incinerated. Any civilian witnesses are to be given a regimen of Class A amnestics, and the area is to be closed to civilians for no less than 30 days under the pretense of a non-specific toxic spill. Well, that is pretty disgusting, as if anyone needed more of a reason to hate flies. Maybe I should be a little more friendly to the spiders. That's all for this evening. Get back to work.